Have you ever wondered where your decisions, habits, and confidence actually come from? We often blame circumstances, people, or luck for our life's problems. But often the real change starts not outside us, but within our own minds. Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, The Miracles of Your Mind, explains this very idea: how our conscious and subconscious minds work together to deeply influence our thoughts, beliefs, and behavior. Our conscious mind is the part we use to think, question, and make decisions. However, the subconscious mind stores the beliefs and patterns we repeat over and over. This is why if someone constantly tells themselves, "I am unlucky, I can't succeed," or "things are always hard for me," their behavior gradually shifts to match that belief. They notice fewer opportunities, fear taking risks, and often give up before even starting. Murphy's message is that if thoughts influence our behavior, we must become more conscious of those thoughts. This doesn't mean just saying positive words will fix everything. The key is what kind of beliefs you are reinforcing in your mind daily. If you keep telling yourself you are weak, building confidence will be difficult. But if you remind yourself that you can learn, improve from mistakes, and handle tough situations step by step, your attitude begins to shift. Repetition is crucial here. A thought you think repeatedly becomes familiar, and what is familiar is easily accepted by the mind. If you constantly focus on fear, your mind will find problems everywhere. But if you start focusing on possibilities and solutions, your attention naturally moves in that direction. The book also discusses the power of visualization and affirmations. When you hold a goal clearly in your mind and connect it to your actions, your focus sharpens. But simply imagining success with closed eyes isn't enough. If you want to learn a skill, you must practice every day along with the visualization. If you want to change careers, you need preparation and action alongside the mental image. The mind can give direction, but you are the one who has to walk the path. Similarly, gratitude can transform your thinking. When your focus is always on what you lack, you only see scarcity. But when you consciously notice what you already have, your perspective shifts. Problems don't disappear, but your way of looking at them certainly can. Perhaps the most important takeaway is that your old thoughts are not your entire identity. If you've held a negative belief for years, it will take time to change, but change is possible. You just need to keep creating new patterns through awareness, repetition, and action. Remember, your mind is learning something every day. The only question is, what are you teaching it? If you start consciously changing your thoughts, your decisions, habits, and actions will eventually follow. Now, how do we use this power in daily life? Knowing the subconscious is powerful isn't enough. Real change begins when you start consciously observing your thoughts and reactions. You have thousands of thoughts a day, but you don't have to believe every one of them is true. For example, before starting a task, if you think, "I probably can't do this," and you immediately accept it as truth, your fear will grow and you might not even try. But if you pause and ask, "Is there really no chance?" or "Am I just afraid of failing?" your thinking can change. This awareness separates you from your old mental patterns. Dr. Joseph Murphy explains that just as negative thoughts are strengthened by repetition, constructive thoughts can be reinforced too. The way you talk to yourself matters. Instead of "I can't do anything," saying "I can learn this" is far more useful. Instead of "nothing good will happen to me," asking "what can I do to improve my situation?" moves you from helplessness toward action. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems. Positive thinking isn't about escaping reality. If there's a problem, accept it and then focus on the solution. That is the difference between blind positivity and constructive thinking. You don't have to believe everything will fix itself. You just have to believe you can take action based on your understanding of the situation. Visualization works the same way. If you have a goal, don't just let it be a dream. Imagine what you need to do daily to reach it. If you're learning a new skill, see yourself practicing. If you want to advance in your career, imagine the effort, learning, and consistency required. This aligns your focus with your goal and makes taking action easier. The book also emphasizes dealing with fear and overthinking. Our minds often fear situations that haven't even happened. We think, what if I fail? What if I'm rejected? What if everything goes wrong? It's impossible to control every future possibility. Instead of trying to eliminate fear, learn to understand it and take a small action anyway. Forgiveness is another key point. Constantly dwelling on old arguments, failures, and disappointments affects your present. Forgiving someone doesn't mean what they did was right. It means you aren't letting that event control your peace of mind anymore. When you let go of the past, you create mental space for the present. Finally, changing the subconscious mind requires patience. An old belief wasn't built in a day, so it won't vanish in one either. You must repeat new thoughts and actions consistently. Initially, you might not feel a big difference, but gradually, those small changes will show up in your confidence and behavior. So, start paying attention to your inner dialogue today. When your mind says, I can't, don't just agree. Ask, what's the first step I can take to learn? When fear arises, ask, is this a real problem or just my imagination? And when you have a goal, don't just think about it. Take one small action toward it today. That is the most practical message of the miracles of your mind. Thoughts alone don't change your life, but they influence your beliefs, which influence your actions, and your actions ultimately change your results. Your mind is not your enemy. It just needs the right direction and training. You are teaching it something every day, so try to teach it the language of growth, courage, and possibility instead of fear and limitations. If you enjoyed this book summary, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more practical and life-changing book summaries. See you in the next one. Thank you.